welcome to another Lawn Fawn video. Today we are so excited to be introducing our Build-A-Snowman die set. This die set is so much fun because you can build these two adorable snowmen and there's lots of fun accessories. So we have two different size snowmen. Then we have this little circle, and that's the backing for behind their eyes and mouth. We'll show you how to use that in just a little bit. There's cute little rosy cheeks, a little bow tie or hair bow, and a little heart. There's this adorable top hat, and then a little thing of holly that you can add into the hat, and some little buttons, of course, some little coal buttons. We have these fun little earmuffs, an adorable little cardinal, and of course some arms for them. Then we have some little gloves and the details for the gloves and a carrot nose, and then the cutest little scarf. So now we're going to put these snowmen together. So we're just going to use some liquid glue from the glue tube to go around the eyes and mouth, and then we can just add that little backing piece on top, which makes it quick and easy to be able to fill in their little coal eyes and mouth. For the top hat, we're going to add the little band around it, and there's something about the classic black top hat with the red band that feels kind of like Frosty the Snowman. And then we're going to add in the cute little holly, and we've die cut the holly out of some shimmer cardstock, which I think is a really fun look for Christmas. And so we're going to add the little holly leaves and then the fun holly berries on top. And then you'll see just how cute that little hat looks on top of the snowman. Next, he needs his little carrot nose. And then we're going to add the scarf to him. And there's a lot of different ways that you can add the scarf. So you'll add this piece here right around his neck, but then you can kind of play around with the tail. You could have it on either side, and you can have the tail part of the scarf either be on the outside or you can tuck it underneath too. And all of the ways look really cute, so I like that there's a lot of ways to mix and match the scarf together. Then we're going to give him his little stick arms. And you can see we called this die set Build-A-Snowman for that reason. You really are building a snowman. And for people like me that live in warm weather climates but love building snowmen, this is a fun little way to be able to do it and create really cute cards too. So we're going to add his little arms. And then here we have the cardinal. We did some shimmer cardstock for the bird and then just a plain cardstock for the wing. And so the little contrast of the two reds looks really pretty. And we're going to add that cardinal right into his hand. And oh my goodness, I mean, look how cute this is. It's so much fun to create. And then we're going to add the little top hat on top, and it just feels like Frosty the Snowman, and it's just so sweet. We're going to add some liquid glue on there, and then we're going to drop in our little buttons of coal right onto the snowman. And you can do 2 or 3 buttons. It looks really cute. In this case, we did 2 because we had the scarf kind of coming over the edge of where the 3rd button would be. Now for the smaller snowman, you can use that same backing circle, so that works for both of them. So we're going to add some liquid glue on there and then layer that behind it. And then we can give him his cute little carrot nose. For this guy, we're going to give him the earmuff. So we're going to add the little earmuff detail pieces on top. And then you'll see how cute that is right around him. It's just adorable. And then we're going to add the little detail pieces onto the mittens. And I really like the white with the red. It just feels classic for Christmas. Then you can use the same stick arms for the smaller snowmen. They look really good. We're just kind of tucking them in a little bit more. And then those little mittens can go right on top of the stick hands, and it is just the cutest thing ever. And then we can go ahead and add his earmuffs on permanently. We'll add some tape runner onto those. And then for this guy, for a different look, we're going to use that little bow tie there. And then we're also going to give him that cute little heart, which is so super sweet. So I love that depending on the different colors or types of cardstock or pattern papers that you use, you can get a different look. Or you can get a different look by mixing and matching the accessories as well. And these snowmen are so cute on a card together, and they're really cute separate too. So we're going to work on some cards next. And first up, we're going to be using some hot foil. So here is my Glimmer hot foil machine. I've got my platform ready light on. So I'm going to put my snowflake background hot foil plate right on top of there. And then I'm going to press the timer button, and it's going to flash, and it flashes for about a minute. And once it goes solid, we know we're ready to hot foil. So that's going to happen just about now. Now we have 2 solid green lights. So we're going to take our hot foil and we're going to put it face down onto this hot foil plate, just like that. And then we're going to take some white cardstock and put that over top. The Glimmer machine comes with 2 plates here. We have the shim and then also the spacer pad. And then we can take this whole thing and pop it off of the base. And then we're going to run it through our die cut machine, just kind of like you normally would with the die, but this time it's the hot foil plate. And this is going to give us a really cool snowflake background that's going to be perfect for this adorable snowman. So now my favorite part, we can peel up the foil and see what we created. And isn't that just gorgeous? I just love it. So now we're going to take out a stitched rectangle die and we're going to die cut this beautiful foiled background. And oh my goodness, I love this. We have the stitch detail of the die and then that beautiful foiled background. And we're going to use this as a background from one of the snowmen that we just created at the beginning of the video. So now we're going to take the same die and we're going to die cut some pixie dust cardstock, and this is going to become our little snowy hill for the bottom. So here we're just going to take out our background, and it's funny, both Rebecca and I here at the office, we love to do this. We love to kind of like look at the background with the character on it and then kind of line it up, and that's how we decide exactly where this hill is going to go. And this is a simple stitched hillside border, so we're going to hold that in place with some tape and run it through the die cut machine, and now we'll have this beautiful little glittery snowy hill to go along with our awesome foiled background. So we're going to add some tape runner to that and then layer that on to our scene. Then we're going to add some foam squares to the back of this adorable snowman, and then we're going to layer him into the scene. And the little bit of pop I think is really great. It really helps him stand out. I think it's so cute to just have this die cut cute snowman and then this adorable foil background. I just think this it's such a sweet Christmas card. Now here is some of the new Nitpicky winter paper. I love this paper and I love that the red is going to kind of go along with his hat and the cardinal. So we've layered that onto a standard size card base that's 5.5 by 4.25, and then we're going to layer this on top to have this beautiful little border of red around the card, and I feel like it just ties all of the colors together. Now, this is one of my favorite sets for Christmas cards, and it's Merry Messages. It just has the best sentiments. And so we're going to stamp out one of these, and it says, "Sending warm wishes for a happy holiday season," which I think looks really cute. I love the juxtaposition of the cold snowman with the warm sentiment. So we're going to die cut this with a sentiment banner die, but the banner die was a bit too long for the sentiment, so we lined it up on the left side, ran it through the die cut machine, and now we're just going to line it up on the right side and run it through one more time. And that's going to give us a custom size banner that's going to be the perfect size for this sentiment. Then all we need to do is add some tape runner to that and then layer this on top, and this card is all done. It's super cute. The only thing stamped is actually the sentiment, but we were able to have some fun with hot foil and also some fun with die cutting. So much fun and so sweet and adorable. Now that we've made a card with one of the snowmen, we need to make a card with the other one. So we're going to take out the Snow Flurries backdrop die, and this die is so gorgeous. And we're going to die cut that of some white cardstock, and what it does is it creates a stitched frame with these beautiful snowflakes kind of coming in, and I thought this would be a perfect frame for the snowman. Then, kind of being inspired by our other card, we're going to take out some of that Nitpicky winter paper again, but this time in this beautiful soft turquoisey color. And instead of using the knit part, we're going to use the more detailed part of that. We're going to put that on a standard size card base that's 5.5 by 4.25. Then here we're going to take out some foam strips and we're going to layer these little foam strips all around the frame of these beautiful snowflakes. And then we're going to layer that on top. And that pop is going to look so amazing because now it almost looks like a shadow box frame with those snowflakes coming in. Oh, it's just gorgeous. Now here is that cute little snowman that we created earlier. And when we kind of had him on there, I was like, I don't know, maybe too much pink. So we decided to add a scarf instead on him to kind of go along with this kind of white and turquoisey color palette, but then we could still leave a little bit of the pink and red on there. So we're going to layer the scarf right on top, and oh my goodness, he looks so cute. And then we can add the foam squares to the back of him and then layer him on the card. Now, since we're kind of being inspired by our first card, I wanted to bring in some hot foiling. So we're going to hot foil a sentiment. Our platform ready light is green, so we can put on our winter big scripty words hot foil plate on top. We're going to press the timer button, and that button is going to flash. And it's going to flash for about a minute. We just kind of fast forwarded. Once it's solid, we can put our foil face down, our paper face down, and then our thin shim and our spacer pad on top. We're going to pop it out of the machine, and then we're going to run it through the die cut machine. We did that off camera. And now that's all done, and we can peel up that foil, and we have this beautiful kind of like holographic sentiment that's so gorgeous. There's some coordinating dies that work with both the hot foil plate and the Winter Big Scripty Words stamp set. So we're going to run that through the die cut machine and then add some tape runner to the back of that and then layer that into the card. And there's something about that beautiful foiled sentiment that's so gorgeous on the card and looks really, really cool with all the shimmer cardstocks that we used on the snowman. So we thought it would be fun to create a coordinating tag for this. And we saw these tags that Tammy created, and oh my goodness, they were so cute. So we're going to take out that smaller snowman again, and we're going to be die cutting all these different colors of cardstock, the beautiful shimmer, the orange for the nose, the brown for the arms, and we're going to start layering our snowman together. So we'll add some liquid glue to the back of him and then layer the little piece that's going to add the color for the eyes and the mouth. Then we've got our little earmuffs here and we're going to layer on some pieces. We're using that same beautiful kind of teal colored shimmer cardstock on both the earmuffs and on the scarf. And then we're going to layer the scarf, and this time we're going to do something a little different from the scarf. We're going to have the ends going out to the side, almost like the wind was blowing the scarf, and I think that's such a cute look too. We're also going to add the little nose kind of pointing up into the air, which I think is really sweet because it makes him look like he's looking up into the sky, like he's maybe looking up at the snow falling. We're going to add some arms onto him, and then of course some little buttons of coal too. And then we'll add some earmuffs. And then we're going to work on the tag, and we're going to be using the outside in stitch snowflake. And so that's this die right here, and we're going to be die cutting that from some pixie dust cardstock, which has this beautiful glitter to it. Then we're going to take out a plain circle die, and this is a 2-inch circle die, and we're going to die cut that same nitpicky paper that we put in the background of the card, and we're going to layer that on the center of this snowflake. So we'll add some tape runner onto that and then layer that right in the center. And I love that it just looks like this beautiful little pattern paper framed by this gorgeous snowflake. We're going to add some foam squares on the back to give him a nice pop, and we're going to layer him, and you'll see that he's going to be sticking off the edge, but we're actually going to trim him down in just a second. We're going to do some heat embossing for the sentiment, and we're going to be using the winter wavy sayings, and I love these because they're already curved, and the curve matches our wavy banners, so you can use the wavy sentiments with the wavy banners. So we're going to die cut one of the wavy banners out of some black cardstock, and then we're going to stamp Happy Holidays in some clear embossing ink, and then we can sprinkle on some white heat embossing powder and heat it up with the heat tool, and then we're going to have this beautiful wavy sentiment that's going to look just gorgeous. So we're going to add some tape runner to the back of this sentiment, and then now we're just going to kind of look and see where it's going to look. We actually ended up covering up one of the buttons. That's okay. We're going to layer that on there. And then what we're going to do is take some scissors and trim right underneath the banner. And it doesn't have to be perfect because the banner is going to cover it up. But there is something about this snowman coming out from the end of the banner that I think is just about the cutest thing. So doesn't that look just adorable? Oh, it's just so sweet. Now we're going to take a little hole punch and we're going to punch a hole in the top of the snowflake, and that's what's going to create the tag from this whole thing. And I mean, this is just the most gorgeous tag, and I love that we're kind of inspired by the card to create the tag with some similar colors. Here we have some aquamarine lawn trimmings, and we're just going to feed that through the hole that we just punched, and we're going to have this super cute tag. We can tie a knot at the top, and then we'll be ready to add it to a present. And oh my goodness, this is so cute. I want to make about 1,000,000 more of these. And then here you can see how sweet it looks with the card. It's so super cute and so much fun. And now next up, Shari's going to create a really adorable card. Oh, I love this card. She's going to put both of the snowmen together, and she's going to be die cutting the scars out of some nitpicky paper that makes them look like fabric. So take it away, Shari.
I'm using the new Build-A-Snowman die set, which I think is so much fun. I've already cut out some of my pieces you can see there, but for the scarves and the earmuffs and the detail on the top hat, I wanted to cut this from some nitpicky paper and have that really fun kind of sweater pattern on them. So I'm going to be using the green and the pink, and I'm using the papers with lots of pattern on them, and I'm making sure that I line my dies up in the same direction as the pattern. So you can see there on that scarf I had those cute little hearts, and on this scarf I'm going to end up with some of those diamonds from that pattern. One of my snowmen is going to have the pink and one is going to have the green. Now that I have all my pieces cut out, I can assemble them. So you get this piece that fills in the eyes and the mouth, so you just glue that to the back. And I've cut that from black cardstock, and of course my snowmen or snow women are cut from white cardstock. There's also those cute little carrots for the nose. And you can kind of make your snow people look in a certain direction by which direction you face the nose. I want these two to be facing each other, sort of looking towards each other. So I'm making sure the noses both point to the center. Now for that top hat, I've cut that from some black glitter cardstock, which I think makes it really fun and shiny, almost like a silk top hat. And then of course the ribbon detail that goes around it, I cut from that patterned paper. So that top hat detail is going to match the scarf on this snowman. I'm using some Copic markers in some colors that coordinate with my papers and just coloring those tassels that are on the bottom of the scarf, just so that they stand out a bit more and they're solid. Gives it a little more interest when you do this extra little detail. And I did the same thing to the pink one. Now I can dress my snowmen up in their scarves. And I'm going to kind of do the same thing as I did with their noses. I'm going to put the scarf that hangs down on a different side for each one. So for this one, I've got that part towards the left, and on the other one, I'll put it towards the right. There's also these little tiny rosy cheeks in this die set, and I'm just going to add those right above the ends of his smile. Now for my little snowman, I've got those earmuffs. I cut it originally just from some storm cloud cardstock, but I thought it would be fun to cut it from that same glitter so that this snowman had some shimmery shine to it as well. So I'm just adding that pattern paper for the colored part of the earmuffs, and then I'll just add a little bit of glue to the edges and put that right on each side of the head. For the scarf, I'm going to put this one more towards the right side. And I just think that those hearts from this pattern paper is really fun. So it really does add a lot if you take the time to kind of line it up with the pattern. Now for the cheeks on this one, my carrot was sort of in the way on this side, so I had to use my tweezers and sort of pull it up a little bit. And I'm just tucking that little cheek under the very end of the carrot nose. And there are my two little snow people that are going to go on my card. Now I can work on the background. I have a piece of spiffy speckles paper. This is cut with a stitch rectangle that's going to cover the entire card front. And I'm adding some trees using the birch tree stencil. So I'm just going to use my magnets towards the bottom. I don't need to ink all the way to the bottom. I will be covering that up. And then I'm putting a piece of tape at the top so I don't have to work around any magnets up there at the top. Since I'm inking on some pattern paper that has a color, I'm going to use Distress Oxide ink. This is pumice stone. This ink has that pigment in it, so it's going to kind of set on top of the paper more and give you a nice color. I'm trying not to be too heavy-handed, but this is a light gray, and so you're going to get this really nice, more subtle look of the trees in the background. So you'll see here when I pull the stencil away, it's kind of a really soft, wintry look. And as it dries, it actually kind of lightens up a little bit too. Now I want to add some snow. My trees are nice and dry. I'm going to be heat embossing using the Frosties stamp set. Now mine is well loved. Mine is 12 years old. So I'm really glad that Frosties has come back because I think that these snowflakes are super fun. And I'm going to be using the new Unicorn Sparkle embossing powder with my Yeti ink to make my snowflakes. So I'm just going to stamp these around on the background. I've already prepped the whole piece with an anti-static powder tool. This also helped ensure that my stenciled trees were nice and dry. And you can't see that Yeti ink too well. You can see it a little better when you put this embossing powder on. But when I heat it up, we're going to see these snowflakes really pop. And I'm just adding my embossing powder to all my snowflakes before I heat it up. So I'm stamping a snowflake and adding the powder, and then I'll move on to the next snowflake. And I'm just filling the sky with these really fun snowflakes. So once I have all my snowflakes stamped and filled in, I'm not worried about the center too much because that is where my snowman's going to go. So I'm just going to check that. I am going to heat this up. Now the trick with this embossing powder I've found is to heat it from the back. That's sort of my trick for all glittery embossing powders, because if it gets too hot from the front, that glitter kind of melts. So you can see how I'm heating it from the back, and as it melts, they really start to pop out, and you can really see that white color of the embossing powder. But you also get that really fun glitter, and we all know that we love some glitter on our cards. So there's that shimmery glitter on those snowflakes. And then to continue with the glitter, I am making a glittery snow bank for them to sit on. So I have a piece of pixie dust glitter cardstock and one of my stitched hillsides, and I'll just cut the top of that so that I have a glittery snowy base for my snow people to sit on. So I'm adding my panel that I've stenciled and heat embossed to my card base. And then I'm adding my glittery snowy ground, just lining up the bottom. And then I can add my snow people. So for this one, I'm using thin foam squares, so they're a little bit thinner than regular thickness foam squares. And then I'm going to use the regular thickness foam squares on that smaller snowman that is in the foreground. So I'll add those thicker ones to the areas where it's going to stick to the background. And then I can add a thin one where it overlaps. So I had to move that one because it didn't quite fit right where I wanted to, and then I've added a thin one in that kind of void right there. That little thin one's going to overlap the other snowman. These really fill a card nicely. I think they are a great size. Now for my sentiment, I use the Winter Big Scripty Words hot foil plate. I have all of these. I foiled all of them at one time and cut them all out when I first got my hot foil plate, and so now I kind of have these sentiments just sitting on my desk ready to be used whenever I need one. I'm going to use the Be Jolly. This is gold foil on white cardstock, and this is just a really fun idea to just have a bunch of these ready to use. You could just foil a whole bunch all at once. And then here is my finished card. I really love how this card turned out with those soft colors. The trees and the sparkly snowflakes in the background just turned out better than I even expected. And I really love those pattern paper details for the scarves and the earmuffs. I just think this is so much fun, and I just love those little snowmen.
I am so in love with this card, Shari. It is so happy and so cheerful. Oh, I just love it. And next up, we have some incredible cards by the design team. And this one by Elena is so sweet. I love how she's turned them in together so it kind of looks like they're hugging. Oh, so adorable. I love how Audrey combined blue and red together for a Christmas card. It's so cute, and I just love the knit detail on the hat. And then this card by Elise is so sweet, and I love how she was inspired to use the knit picky paper for the earmuffs and scarves too. Here, Megan created an adorable snow globe that's just perfect for this awesome snowman, and I love that she colored a rainbow scarf for him. This card by Yanea is so sweet, and I just love those foil snowflakes in the background. Kara here added Copic marker detail to all of her die-cut Build-A-Snowman pieces, and wow, is this card stunning. This card by Callie is so sweet, and I just love the pink background with the snowmen. It's so happy. Here, Maureen was inspired to create a really cute shaker snow globe, and the little snowman is a perfect fit for it. And then Tammy found out that our snowmen are a perfect match for our stitched mug. How sweet is that? I just love it. These little snow globes by Grace are so fun. Their tags and their shakers, and there's hot foil on acetate. They are just so cool and so much fun, and I can't wait to create one just like this. And I just love that they're holding on to the hearts too. I love that Mindy framed her whole scene with the snow flurries backdrop die. It looks just gorgeous. And here Letitia was inspired to use a really creative color palette that is so bright and so happy for this fun winter card. I love the look of the snow flurries background stencil with the snowman. It looks like he's looking up and catching all of those snowflakes. This card by Lynette is so sweet, and I love the nitpicky paper in the background and all of the red that she used on the snowmen. And then here, Shari created this really awesome hot foiled acetate shaker with the snowmen that I just love. So we cannot wait to see all the snowmen that you're going to create, so make sure to share it with us. Thank you so much for watching today, and I hope you have an absolutely amazing day. Bye!